I'm gonna take a three-piece with the boss sauce
Picture this.
and some macaroni and cheese.
You just ruined the fucking punchline.
I'm sorry.
Are you drinking paint today, Sam?
I'm drinking paint today.
That's the point.
That's the point, and that's what makes me so fucking mad about this goddamn movie. It's the point.
How do you hate this movie? I don't think about him in this movie. He doesn't exist, that fuck. That fucking fuck. I am still here for it.
Your co-host, Mr. Workman, will not be joining us this week, for I have destroyed him for all time.
That's terrible. Can we call it the Foreskin 20 episode?
I'm fucking done.
3 for 3. Now that's really cool.
Top of the morning to you lads and lasses. Welcome to this week's 3 for 3. My name is Samuel Holler, and I am back in a much different getup. I have my hair back, and I'm joined by two fucking god-filled balls that are just absolute shite, and they're supporting me somehow, because when I'm all the way from Dublin, I need some little help getting taken care of, if you know what I mean. And so, we got 3 picks for you this week. We're coming in hot, and we're coming in quick, because we need to cool off to start off this episode. And if we're going to do anything right this week, we're going to talk about our pick that also features an actor from last year's 3 for 3 special, Sir Brendan Gleeson. So, Matthew Patterson, do you have anything to say for yourself in the ways that Brendan Gleeson's treated you in the last few years?
No. But yeah, my pick is The Guard, the 2011 John Michael McDonough movie, which is the brother of Martin McDonough, which I think is funny that we have him on the podcast. I actually didn't know that when I chose the movie. I just saw Don Cheadle and Brendan Gleeson, and I was like, all right, bet. Yeah, as we say on the podcast, picture this. You're a crazy Irish cop, or whatever they call them in the movie, which I cannot remember. Guards, yep. And you've been on the force for a while, you're weary, but you just kind of do whatever the fuck you want at this point. And
Take an
lo and
LSD.
behold, it looks like you might have a serial killer on the loose. And who comes in but the rough and tough American, not really, but American FBI agent played by Don Cheadle. He's also black. And he's surprised they're not just drug dealers and music producers. But, yeah, they are first, they hate each other at first, and then it becomes like a buddy cop movie with them. Really funny movie, really cool. I had a good time with it. It's got some twists and some turns, and it's got the humor, that McDonough humor, that is apparently, I thought it was just a one-on-one, but apparently there's another one out there doing the same thing. Because he also did Calvary, which I haven't seen. But yeah, I guess they just love some Brendan Gleeson. Huh?
Yeah, I really want to see Calvary. That's been on my searching for list for many years.
Same. But yeah, I mean, I had a good time with it. It was fun. I will admit I haven't thought much about it since I watched it, but other than that, I had a great time. And yeah, what did you guys think?
I was so caught off guard by the fact that it starts off with him taking LSD, and it just really kind of set in stone the type of movie I was going to get. And then flash forward 37 minutes, which Jackson, I think you and I were watching this at the same time Sunday. He has that threesome where he's just the two girls are just going back and forth, and he's like, well, that's okay because I have a tiny penis. And the humor just really started to infect me from that point onwards, and really kind of get under my skin in a good way. And then when Don Cheadle comes in, I'm like, okay, I don't know where this is going to go. I could really like it, or I could not. And for the most part, I really enjoyed it. I think it didn't underwhelm me, but I don't think there was a specific moment that was like that for me. Up until the very end when you're Don Cheadle's just looking into the distance and it cuts to the flashback of Gleason in the car and he just smiles at him and I was just like, God damn right.
Yeah, he
And
could be an Olympic swimmer. We wouldn't know
we
because
wouldn't
he didn't
know.
look him up.
And so it made me want to go back and watch like Filth and all these other kind of movies from that ish time period where they have this kind of style, they have this kind of offensive just all over the fucking placeness, but it was nice and very refreshing to have one that was just so tightly well made and just knit, stitched, signed, sealed, delivered. So
Um, yeah, so this was one that I had heard of, and I didn't know that much about it. I just knew like, oh, it's like what the fuck, like Don Cheadle and Brendan Gleeson as a duo in like a what looks like a buddy cop movie. I was like, that's odd. But okay. I mean, I'm intrigued. I'd always heard good things about this. I had absolutely no idea that Martin McDonagh even had a brother who was also a director, let alone that he was who did this movie. It's funny though, because I was literally saying throughout this whole thing, I was like, this feels very Martin McDonagh-ish, and no shit, it's his brother. So I'm like, okay. And of course, Brendan Gleeson and several other actors from the Banshees of Inisherin are in this. The like police captain guy was the policeman in Banshees of Inisherin, which I was the whole movie. I was like, God damn it, he looks
I'm pretty.
familiar. Say
Isn't I
what?
don't know if there's just a bunch of those in Ireland, but I like isn't one of the like when Don Cheadle was questioning people and he was just walking up and down that trail, wasn't that like the same freaking road from Banshees of
that's what
Inisherin?
it looked
It
like.
looked like it. It
Yeah.
sure looked
It,
like
it
it.
didn't help either. I started F1 after this, and Carrie Condon's in that, and I was just like, "Am I just supposed to watch Banshees of Inisherin?" It didn't make sense.
That's what the universe is trying to tell you. But yeah, so that was interesting to find out. But the movie, I was like, okay, this would be like probably a good, quaint little movie. I was very taken off guard by how much I loved, like, absolutely just loved this movie. I mean, just wow,
Right.
like the whole, just loved it all the way through. I mean, there are two very talented McDonoughs out there, clearly. I want to see Cavalry. I want to see, his other stuff because I'm like, all right, you're also very talented. Brendan Gleeson gives one of the best performances of his career in this movie. He is just so fucking hilarious and, walks that line between like lovable and hateable and just he's such a prick but you love him,
Because
and
he
Don
knows he's a
Cheadle.
prick, and that's the difference.
Say what?
Because he knows he's a goddamn prick, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the difference. Compared to a
um
lot of the rest of the stuff this episode, he knows.
right. And I would never have thought that he and Don Cheadle would make such a good duo, that they'd be like one of the best buddy cop duos ever, but here we are. They sure do have great chemistry. Mark Strong is in this as well and he's great. And fucking Sir
Yeah,
Davos
Onion
from
Knight.
Game of Thrones, Liam
Our first
Cunningham,
Game of Thrones character of this episode, but not our last.
of course. And he's great. And yeah, I don't know. I just every part of this movie, it's funny. It's, a good action movie. That last shootout on the boat, where Don Cheadle's just firing the fucking machine gun and everything is super cool. Well staged. The scenes where the criminals are just like pondering their lives and their jobs and shit is fucking hilarious. And yeah, Brendan Gleeson came in fourth, but that fucking bastard, who was supposed to be on his way out, ended up coming in third. So um and the ending too is cool, like the way they leave it open-ended. But I definitely think he survived.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah. I just think it's cool the way they leave it open-ended like that.
It's the way I choose to believe it.
Hmm.
So. But I did not expect Mark Strong in this at all. That really threw me off because he shows all the photos and they look kind of different. And but Mark Strong has hair, and it's just like, fucking goddamn. All right.
It's a UK based crime movie, so he kind of has to be in it like legally.
Yeah, I'm trying
Um,
to remember the third dude that was in the car driving.
Can't remember his name, but he was great too. The scene where he ambushes him in his house was pretty good. I knew as soon as he started scratching his balls, I was like, he's got a gun stashed in there. He's gonna try to pull it out. Um,
It catches you off guard in the beginning because like you're like, oh, he's gonna arrest those people for speeding. They're drunk driving. They're doing drugs, and then lo and behold, they just immediately crash. And he's like,
mhm.
oh, your mother's not gonna like this.
What a lovely fucking day, or whatever he says.
And
I was
that's the
like,
thing is, it's so gorgeously shot, and it felt like I was back like 10 years plus just watching something on TV because Roku has those small little intermittent ads. Um, that I don't know. It felt very cozy, which was just not what I was expecting for this movie.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I knew I was gonna like it when they were looking at the number on the wall and they were trying to figure out what it means, and then the new police detective just goes, "Well, there's 8.5.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
also 7." And he's like, "Are we just naming movies with fucking numbers in them?" I don't know why. I was just like, "Yeah, that's pretty good."
it took
I mean,
me. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, this movie was just really funny too. Like he, definitely knows to touch on that. What were you gonna say, Jackson?
I was just gonna say it took me off guard when the new big city cop gets killed so early in the movie. I thought like it was gonna be a whole thing where he was gonna be a big character for the whole movie and they were gonna learn to get along then in like the first 20 minutes he gets killed and
Yeah.
I was upset by that. I was just like, "Oh my God." Like poor bastard was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yep.
Um and then yeah, his wife ended up being an interesting character and I don't know, them just exploring the dynamic of I don't know, like Brendan Gleeson and Don Cheadle has such a good dynamic to me. It's like classic buddy cop formula, but with a twist on it, where it's like, he's a very sardonic, like Irish dude, and he's a much more straight-laced, like American dude, and I don't know, it's like they're both very, very different, even more so than you see in buddy cop movies. But I don't know, the way that they bond was pretty cool. And they kind of had like a bromance going towards the end there, which I enjoyed. So,
As much as it kind of pissed me off, I loved where he was going through the slideshow and he just kept ever saying the names and then pausing and then having to look at the lady and be like, next.
Yeah,
It's like, what a culture shock coming into this fucking world, but also a culture shock for them. So,
yeah. No, that was a good one too. I like them. Yeah,
and compared to the only other movie I've seen from him is War on Everyone, which is another kind of buddy cop movie with Alexander Skarsgård and Michael Pena, and it just doesn't hit in this way. It's fun and I remember enjoying it. There's a lot of action, but it just didn't hit like this, and I was like, holy fuck, this is awesome, and it just made me want to watch Calvary even more.
yeah, I remember when Calvary
Show
came
it or
out, I
Calvary.
really wanted to see it back then. But I just never got around to it. It's been definitely one of my like, movies I've been trying to watch for like well over a decade now. Um,
they need
and oh, go ahead.
the brothers need to come together and make a movie.
I
They
was
need to do
Yes.
the
so here
opposite
for
of what
that.
all brother directors do, which is usually they start together and then they break up. They start separate and then come together.
Find their way.
They gotta
Um,
they gotta make the what's the word? The crossover movie, The Guard in Bruges,
They got to do what I'm doing, drinking the
which kind of is.
Baileys and the Irish whiskey, and then
there
come
you
up with a
go.
nice screenplay together.
There you go. Um, yeah, Brendan Gleeson is just a treasure. I love him, like
Completely.
in everything. He just makes things better by being in them. And it's rare for him to get like a leading role in something too. And it just shows you how like this movie shows you how much he can really carry a movie.
Yeah.
Just by being fucking hilarious and shit.
Trying
Um,
to think of how to pronounce the name. Calexico? Cal- Calexico, I think. Whoever did the music did a
hmm.
bunch of like other music for like Collateral and a a movie that I like called Dead Man Shoes. And so I really enjoy the music. It's so like playful and like bouncy, but also kind of like so in the background that it's almost like not even there the whole time. Um, and then I think about Banshees and the way that music also it just creeps in through, has its place, but doesn't overstep its boundaries, and the way that
Right.
they just craft the McDonough family just seem to they just know the place for everything.
Um, yeah, it's nice because it reminded me a lot of In Bruges with like, it's hilarious, but a lot of the humor is kind of subtle in a way where it's just like, I don't know, just very, very like dry Irish humor, which I like.
Yeah, it's one of
Um,
those movies also where the accents is we're gonna talk about it later, but it's one of those movies where the accent's so thick it takes like 10 minutes into the movie to finally just kind of get used to everything.
Well, it was funny because it was almost kind of the opposite for me, where I was understanding them pretty well at first, and then about maybe a third or halfway through the movie, I had to
Started
turn the
slipping.
subtitles on. I was like, all of a sudden, I can't understand Brendan Gleeson anymore. I was like, I was doing a good job, and then he lost me.
That was me for Sing Street. I had to keep the subtitles on like the whole time at that
Oh
point
yeah.
because I was like, these
Sing
guys
Street,
are
like, yeah, at
just
the very beginning. Oh, well, Sing Street was funny because it was like first 10 minutes I was doing a good job. And then when that little kid showed up, I was like, okay, I need the subtitles for a minute. Can't understand a fucking word he's saying. But yeah.
It's funny because we just watched Snatch with Brad Pitt doing that.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah. I just fell in love with this movie, the more I watched it. By the time it was done, I was like, man, what a great time. I mean, just so fun, so fucking funny. I could tell within the first like 5 minutes, I was like, oh, I think I might love this because this is really goddamn hilarious. A lot of these jokes are just kind of catching me off guard, and yeah, I really appreciate it a lot. And definitely want to see more of what John Michael McDonough's got to offer because you know, I think this was his first movie that he directed. I could be wrong about that, but like if that's true, what a great first movie. What a way to
Way to
make a
do it.
splash.
Yeah.
Um and I'm just gonna, not even try to be cryptic here like I normally would be. This may be the best lineup of movies we've ever had in an episode before. I'm just gonna say that. Because like the single best in any episode, and this was the first one I watched, and it only just went up from here. I mean, this
They
was a great
say
first.
it's like a donkey fucking a hippopotamus. It,
I'm so glad you remembered that.
it's
That was
party
one of my
time.
favorite lines in the movie. God damn. Just again, all the scenes of like the criminals just like fucking pontificating on shit where they're just
Trying
like,
to quote Nietzsche or
why
Nietzsche
would
or
I
whatever the
why
fuck.
would I try to screw you over? That doesn't make any logical sense. Like, why would I try to take your money? Like, that's completely counterproductive to what we're trying to do. So funny.
Yeah, and then the Nietzsche quote, like Sam, like that scene where they're like, oh, good one. I don't know why it
Yeah, it
was
was
just like,
just like
And then just Brendan Gleeson like killing the dude and then calling Don Cheadle and just being like, I shot him. I was like, oh shit, is he dead? Hold on a second, let me check. He goes over. He is now. It's just like, I don't know, little things like that. It's fucking hilarious. Um, yeah. Very very funny, very kind of heartfelt at points too, because again, you do care about their bromance and everything, and you really kind of fall in love with the two of them as characters and shit.
that's where like
Um,
they just smack heads immediately. But then him saying that like racism is a part of my culture, I'm Irish, like really like it doesn't excuse things obviously, but the way it's like treated after that is I felt no like ill will between them. It was all just love.
well, because he was just fucking with him. Like that was
Yeah,
the thing. He was basically just rage baiting Don Cheadle the whole movie.
yeah,
which is
that's so true.
yeah.
I like the
Um,
whole when he just says that he went to Disney World by himself,
Yeah.
and Don Cheadle just kind of is like, okay, like just
Yeah.
Goofy's my favorite.
yeah.
Just
But
everything. I could hear him talk for hours.
yeah. No, he's again, I love him to death. Anything he's in, he's usually one of, if not the standout. And he again doesn't usually get to lead a movie like this. So it was nice seeing him carry it and everything. But yeah, very delightful film, very delightful. I'm glad you picked it, Matt, because it felt like it was maybe a last minute pick on your part, but because I
Yeah,
hadn't even heard you mention it until kind of the last minute. I'm glad you decided to go with it because yeah, what a great time.
yeah. I'm glad I went with it too. I had a good time with it, and I agree. I feel like this is a really good lineup of movies.
I
It
feel
was the
like
only one I was definitely like, we're 3 for 3 this week. Almost
yeah.
guarantee it. Like, once I finished Sing Street, I was like, I would be surprised if we're not.
Well, this was the only one, yeah, that I hadn't seen. So once I got done with this, I was like, oh, we're definitely gonna be because I know the other two are bangers. So
I don't know if y'all felt this way, but I think all three of the movies this week are very much like daytime watches. Like you could just wake up,
and
throw them on, and just get going.
I ended
yep,
up watching all these at
done at
night,
night.
but I
Oh
do see what you mean. I mean, for me, I guess Departed's an any time of day movie. You just throw that on
yeah.
whenever you want. But
I could have watched any of these during the day. I just didn't.
yeah, I feel like The Guard would have been a good daytime movie, though. I didn't really, yeah. But they work. It works though. It's one of those, yeah. I
Well,
don't know. It's one of those movies that like I feel like when it's over, you're like, damn, I kind of wish it wasn't over. But that's
This
just me.
definitely, yeah, was one of those where I was just enjoying it so much the whole time. And also this scene where he's in the bar, Brendan Gleeson, and he's playing the arcade game where he's just shooting.
yeah.
And he's just like the new guy's just like, well, it's fucking exciting, the drugs, that could be exciting. Yeah, it's real fucking exciting. Standing on a fucking dock for 5 hours waiting for a fucking boat that's never gonna fucking get there. Just like I
And he's
don't
just
know. It
blasting
was
away at these
so
people on the
funny.
computer.
Just them, I don't know. Just so many fucking just great moments. But yeah,
Something
fun
has
time.
something's come up, and I ain't talking about my cook because I have a problem. You see, I have this fucking gnawing problem. This rat going on, and I'm sniffing it out because I got my Irish nose. I can smell whiskey a mile away. Best believe I can smell a fucking rat all the way in the goddamn depths of Boston.
Sam, it's a nation of fucking rats.
Yeah.
But don't you worry. You'll figure out which one of us is the rat, Jackson.
Yes, indeed. Um, which one of you is the CGI rat at the end of the movie? Yes,
Fair point.
We're
my
gonna get
pick.
to the CGI people too.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, my pick was, of course, Martin Scorsese's Best Picture winning masterpiece, The Departed. And if you can, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to do is picture this. It's Boston, and you are big time crime boss Frank Costello. You're a bad man, a very bad man, doing bad things. And well, you got this little kid that you take under your wing named Colin Sullivan. And that little kid, well, who does he grow up to be? Jimmy. Who else? And he's also a bad man. And he becomes a cop, in the
As all
state
bad men
police.
are.
He
Stadium.
becomes he becomes a member of the state police, and he's a mole for your little gang that you got going on. He's working for you, feeding you info, all this kind of shit. But there also just happens to be another member of the state police, and his name is Billy Costigan Jr. And he looks a lot like Leonardo DiCaprio. And see, he is part of kind of a well-known criminal family, but he's trying to be different than the rest of them. He's trying to be a man of the law and, get away from his family's past and shit. But old Marky Mark says, "You're never gonna be a fucking cop, you fuck." Something like that. And so basically they put him undercover as part of Jack Nicholson's gang. And he's trying to bring down Jack Nicholson and find out who the rat is in the police which is Matt Damon, and he's trying to find out who the rat is in the gang, who's DiCaprio, and it's a cat and mouse game, is what it is, or a cat and rat game, more accurately. And yeah, very suspenseful, got all kinds of thrills and chills, and there's a lot of fucking people in this goddamn movie. As I mentioned, you got DiCaprio, you got Damon, you got Nicholson, but then you got Vera Farmiga, you got Ray Winstone, Alec Baldwin, Mark Wahlberg, Martin Sheen, Anthony Anderson, all kinds of goddamn
James
people.
Badge Dale.
James
J.C.
Badge
McKenzie.
Dale
J.C. McKenzie in a
for
very
like
small
one
role.
scene, like randomly as a realtor. And yeah, Mark Rolston also making his second appearance at least on the podcast in a small
Kevin
part.
Corrigan.
Kevin Corrigan, yes indeed. Many, many people. And I can't I can't tell you, having watched 6 seasons of The West Wing, how deeply, deeply upsetting it was to watch Martin Sheen get thrown off of that building.
He deserved it.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. He deserved it.
You deserve the bullet I'm gonna put between your eyes for that little joke, Sam. But
No, the fucker offered him ice water, gave him a cup of water with no ice in it. I don't think he deserved to live.
What?
But I will get into that when it comes to my turn to speak. I relinquish the talking.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm looking forward to you elaborating on that later.
There's got to be a scene in the movie
There-
that I don't remember at all.
There are
but,
two scenes that upset me, but I'll get into it.
But yeah, as I said, Best Picture winner, fantastic film. It's one of those things you hear people say that. Well, first of all, I just want to point out this is a very beloved film. I consider it one of Scorsese's best films, hands down. Fucking incredible movie. This was my second time seeing it. I absolutely goddamn love this movie beyond words. It's one of those movies I felt like when I was done, I should have just had like an after sex cigarette because I just felt so goddamn good watching it. It was like
Hell yeah.
it's orgasmic. It's that fucking good. I mean, every goddamn scene in this is so fucking finely crafted and everything. And it's one of those things where I'll turn it over to you in a second, but you hear people say that certain people find this movie overrated, that it's not one of his best, that it didn't deserve but I'm like, I've never actually heard anyone say that. I've heard people say that, but I've never actually heard anyone say that before. So I'm just going to debunk that myth right now that people say that, because I don't think they do. Because I've only ever heard anyone say good things about this movie and that it's great because it fucking is. And yeah,
I feel like people used to give it shit for the CGI rat, but
which
nobody cares
one of
now.
the biggest overreactions. Like, people act like that last shot is the worst goddamn thing ever. I'm like, it's 2 seconds. It's not that big a deal.
I
Get
wouldn't
the
even
fuck
know it was a
over it.
CGI rat unless somebody told me, to be fair.
I didn't know when I was watching it. I was like, I
I
didn't.
figured they just had a rat crawl across the frickin'
I read it
hall.
afterwards. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize it was CGI. Okay.
Yeah, also, those people in the background of the porn theater in like 2 shots, like not the people in the front of them, but if you look in the back when it's like people in the background, I swear to God, they're CGI'd. Because it's just the light. I don't know if it was my Blu-ray or the lighting on them was like so weird, and you never see them again either, by the way. They're only in the background of like Matt Damon's shot, and they're only behind them. But in the front, there is people they cut to. But in the background, I'm pretty sure they CGI'd like 2 people in because they disappear after that.
They're DiCaprio's handlers on set.
Making sure he doesn't go do more cocaine.
Making sure he doesn't actually whip his cock out and start jerking it.
But yeah, I'll turn it over to the two of you. What were your thoughts?
Well, to get into it, I watched this movie back in like 2012 for the first time. Changed my life. Come COVID, I had not seen this movie in a decade, and I decided to watch The Station Agent, which made me profusely depressed. And then I watched right after What They Had with Michael Shannon, Robert Forster, and Hilary Swank. Made me extremely fucking depressed. So I threw on The Departed, and it was one of the best, most life-changing experiences again, because this movie is fucking awesome, and you can watch it anytime, anywhere, any place. Well, I said that twice, but still, you could watch it and just get sucked into it. And then a few years later, Ricky was like, "Oh, we have 30 minutes. Let's throw on a movie." We threw on The Departed. Lo and behold, I stayed the whole 2 hours and 40 something minutes or whatever the fuck, because this movie does that to you. But then that's where I realized my two glaring fucking issues with this goddamn movie. One, Vera Farmiga has that photo of her as a child. She moves into Matt Damon's apartment, and then 2 scenes later, Leonardo DiCaprio's in her fucking apartment, and that picture is still there. But I guess maybe that's because Leonardo DiCaprio did not, or not Leo, Matt Damon didn't want her family photos in the living room, I guess. Maybe she took it home. So that I can excuse. But what I can't fucking excuse is Leonardo DiCaprio panicking, getting snuck into Martin Sheen's goddamn house, and he offers him a glass of ice water to calm him down, and he comes back with tap room temperature water that Leonardo DiCaprio drank, didn't get the ice, and that's why Martin Sheen needed to get iced, because Martin Sheen doesn't know what fucking ice water is. Okay?
I just say you were probably the only person in the history of the world to even notice that, let alone comment on it.
It upset me viscerally. But it doesn't change the fact that this movie is perfection. But it viscerally upset me.
That's
and
funny.
it still holds true within this rewatch. Because I am a guinea fuck. And I take no shit from no other fucks. Okay? Sorry, I'm channeling my inner Michael Rappaport right now. I'm feeling very, very hostile. Very hostile.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely the energy that this movie will bring out in you for
Mhm.
sure, because everybody in this movie is very hostile.
And also, every cop in this movie is a piece of shit. You got Alec Baldwin, you got Anthony Anderson, you got Matt Damon, you got Mark Wahlberg, you got Leonardo DiCaprio, you got fucking...
Saying Anthony Anderson was a bad cop?
No, he
No,
wasn't.
he's a piece of shit in real life.
Oh.
All of these people are pieces of shits. Capiche?
I actually haven't heard of the Anthony Anderson one, but
Look up
all right.
his set stuff on Blackish. You'll see.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, I've seen this movie countless times. I watched it like first time when I was a kid on a trip to New York, like in the back of my dad's truck, like on a laptop,
Hell yeah.
and just fell in love with it. I mean, it truly. This is like a weird to say. It's like kind of a comfort movie for me because there's like two states of watching The Departed: before you watch The Departed, and then after you watch The Departed when you want to put it on again. Like very much like The Guard, where you're like, oh, this is over. Can I just restart it? Like at this point, because it's just such a world that's like lived in. All the shots, like you said, is perfection. Like literally, I feel like all the shots are like perfect, and even the editing when it's like weird, it's like still great. Like the editing in this movie is fucking killer. The lines are killer. Damn near one, Mark Wahlberg's like definitely in top 5 performances in this movie. Like when him and Alec Baldwin are just going back and forth, it's like so good. Like the how's your mother? Good. Tired from my father. You know, how's your father? Good. Tired from fucking my mother. You know, like just so quick. And
shout out Thelma Schumacher or Maker, because
Yes.
she is the fucking goat.
Yep. Truly. And I mean, everyone in this movie kills it. Like Jack Nicholson is just going off. Like this is like his best unhinged performance almost ever. It's like he goes between like being maniacal and nuts to like actually making sense very quick. Ray Winestone, he's great. His death scene always fucks me up when he shoots himself and the car just explodes. Yeah.
I want to shout out David O'Hara too, because he just fucking what a slag.
That's one of my favorite fucking scenes. I spent all fucking night doing it.
Yeah.
And I tell you to bury someone in the marsh, you'd bury them in the marsh. Not where someone from John Hancock goes, take a fucking blowjob. Apparently, he improvised that line, and the David O'Hara's laughter was actually real. So, and then he goes, "Don't laugh." I say reality TV, and I'm like, knowing that was a real exchange, like improvised, is fucking hilarious.
My favorite Jack Nicholson he's doing whatever the fuck he wants thing is when Leo and Ray Weinstein are talking and he just sneaks up right behind him and he's like shh, and gets like real close up behind him but then doesn't do shit.
Again, apparently he improvised like a lot of that scene in general. So that the fact that they just let Jack go nuts the whole movie just makes me laugh. One of his favorite lines was or just scenes in general is when he's talking to the priests in the bar. And he's just like, "How's Sister Mother Teresa? Haven't been the same since enjoy your clams, cocksuckers." I was just like, God damn. I love him so much in
And
this.
then I
But
love the line where it's like, "What are you ordering? Cranberry juice? What are you on your period?" And then he fights him, and then later Weinstein's just like, "What are you on your period?"
Yep.
God
I
damn
love
it!
it too. Leo's acting is so great where he's like, "What are you drinking?" And he just takes that pause. He knows he's about to get shit on again. He's like, "Cranberry juice."
What is it, your
What is it, your
period?
period? Yeah. And then I
But
love when the other guy when he's like, that's Billy Costigan's kid, and the guy just goes, and he's like, what do you mean? And then just fucking hits him, like just
yeah.
knocks his ass clean out.
And then fucking man, Jack Nicholson is so goddamn unhinged and at the top of his game throughout this whole movie.
Mhm.
But that scene where they take the cast off of his arm and he's just beating him with the shoe is so fucking crazy. I'm just like, man, this movie. And everybody, Matt, it's funny you said that earlier. Like, I started this super late and on the night of daylight savings time, so I lost an hour.
Damn,
So, which I didn't think about when I started it. I didn't finish this till like 5 in the morning.
Damn.
And it was but I didn't care. Literally, I was like, I don't care how long this is. I don't care how late I'm starting it. I was locked in all the way through. I just didn't want it to end when it was over. Again, I was just like, oh my God, that was euphoric. This movie. It was somehow like, I mean, this was my second time watching it, and I remembered like both times just absolutely fucking loved it. Just grabs you and does not let you go. But yeah, I can't, my love for this movie, I can't even tell you. It's just every fucking scene. I forgot how good the script was too. I mean, it's just absolutely nut. This is the third William Monahan written movie we've had on this show because we also had Body of Lies and Kingdom of Heaven, and this was so much better. No offense to those other movies, but this script was so much better than the scripts for those other movies. I mean, wow, like the lines in this are absolutely
what
nuts
are you
and
saying
just
about Ridley Scott as a director, my friend?
I
I don't
don't
even know if it
know.
has anything to do with that, but when you're writing like a period piece versus like a Boston crime thriller,
You can really, yeah, like let your writing
great.
muscles kind of flex in a different way, kind of thing.
Yeah, because I don't think any of the lines in this would have worked in Kingdom of Heaven or Well, maybe Body of Lies, but
Hmm.
definitely not
They
Kingdom
could have tried. They could have tried in Kingdom of Heaven, saying some of those
of
lines. That would have been an approach. But
You
yeah, I
like
don't
sucking
know.
on
Just
Little Miss Freud's, or you like Little Miss Freud sucking on your cock?
I swear to
Orlando
God.
Bloom's just like, I like Katy Perry. What are you talking about?
Oh, Jack Nicholson's lines in this movie, I swear. It's fucking insane. Um,
It's perfect.
he,
It's
so many. He is, I just gotta
legitimately one of the
say,
best performed roles I think I've ever seen in my life. The way he does it.
he is just to point out that Jack Nicholson is goated is almost redundant because he just kills it in every single. He's one of the greatest actors of all time. But I truly believe this is one of his best performances. I mean, the fact that he wasn't nominated for this is ridiculous. He is so good in this, and just the scene where he's like singing the fucking Irish song towards the beginning, like while talking to Ray Winstone or whoever it is, fucking killed me, and just him. I don't know, just every scene. And apparently Jack Nicholson came up with a lot of like the whole scene where he's like doing cocaine with the hookers was his idea. Like he just came up with that by himself. Apparently the scene where he pulls out the strap on in the movie theater was his idea. And I'm just like the fact that he was coming up with all these crazy ass scenes out of nowhere is just hilarious to me. You never
Sam, are
know.
you carrot top or are you carrot bottom?
Does the carrot carpet match the carrot drapes?
There's only one way to find out.
And you pull the
That-
Jack Nicholson where you turn
Yeah, I
around.
was
Is
literally
that
about to
right?
stand up and
Just
prosthetic
pull out the
penis.
white monster again.
Instead of
Just
a
put a little
strap
bit of
on,
red
it's
hair
just
on
like a heavy red bush.
It's this, like, I somehow pull it out of frame when I stand up and put it in my pants, and so it's just all that popping out.
Um,
You gotta
but
find the end of the rainbow to find out that, my friend. What you
Yep.
do with the
Microprocesses.
the
the
microprocess.
micro
Processes.
processes. The also the scene where so many little moments of hilarity where just like Alec Baldwin just losing his shit on that dude and just like beating the
He's like,
shit out of him
come over here. You
for
think it's gonna be a nice, quiet conversation, and he just grabs him and throws him against the wall.
it's so goddamn funny because the incompetence of the dude for not putting the cameras in the right place. Like they keep saying like, who the fuck put the cameras in this place? It's so funny.
I was trying to figure out if that guy was like a mole too, because like apparently there was a bunch of them,
Yeah.
like all
There
over
were
the place.
multiple, yeah.
So I was like thinking this time when I watched, I was like, maybe he was a mole, and like that's why I didn't put the cameras in the back.
Because yeah, James Badge Dale, I remember from seeing it the first time. I remember the twist of him being the mole at the end and him shooting Leo and all that. But like, I've forgotten how much they made that like a surprise because I didn't really remember many of his scenes other than that last scene he's got. But then this time, paying attention to it a lot more, I was like, oh, they really like we're not meant to think he's a bad guy until that's like a big twist at the end. And I also have to say, okay, this is one of the best ensemble casts ever. I mean, the fact that you have Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson, and Mark Wahlberg all in one goddamn movie is like that's a flex right there because that's absolutely crazy. But then again, Alec Baldwin, Martin Sheen, Vera Farmiga, and just like all these fucking people.
Evan Corrigan.
And say what?
Evan Corrigan.
Kevin Corrigan and his little part, Ray Winstone, and casting Anthony Anderson at this time when all he did were, let's be honest, not great movies and all just like comedies where he played the same character again and again and again. Casting him in a dead serious movie like this at this time was pretty crazy. And I've always loved, that they put him in this because he's a really good, actor despite some of his past parts, and we'll look past Kangaroo Jack and things like that.
He's one of my
Andrew
favorite parts of
Jack is a
Transformers.
classic. Huh?
Say what?
One of my favorite parts of Transformers.
Yeah, hilarious in that movie. But yeah, I'll always remember that standoff scene he's got at the end with Leo. When I watched this for the first time, being like, damn, like look at him bringing it in this scene, like showing off his dramatic chops and everything. Um, and I'll never forget ever watching this for the first time when Leo gets shot coming out of that elevator, just like it flooring me. I was just like, oh my God. And I saw an interview with Matt Damon recently where he was talking about it, and he said like when we saw the first cut of this movie, our like jaws were on the floor. He was like, no one is gonna believe that that we actually shot Leonardo DiCaprio in the fucking head, because that just the balls on them to do that, like seriously, like shock the audience that much. I really applaud that. And I don't know, the whole fucking movie is just so incredibly well made. It's really, I do firmly believe it is one of Scorsese's best movies. Certainly it's in my top three favorites of his. I don't know how you could not have a ball watching this movie. It is so well crafted. And Martin Sheen is my favorite president. I'll just say that
The
of
thing
all
that gets
time.
me,
And I love him to death, and he is wonderful in this.
the thing that gets me upon each rewatch is the little envelope where DiCaprio teaches him how to spell it correctly, and then like just it creeping around and going around throughout the whole thing, and then like Matt Damon stabbing that dude in the fucking alleyway and walking
Oh,
away,
that
and
was
then coming
nuts.
back to Leo in the office, seeing that on his desk, and just the whole like the rest of it just is like fuck, and the tension of him deleting his file and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
As a child, I really thought Mark Wahlberg was a bad dude, but he was just fucking getting
He
reprimation.
was the only like fully straight. I mean, I guess not only, but like he was, he at least didn't have to go undercover, so he was the only one who like wasn't playing either side. He was
Yeah.
just like, I'm
Well, I
getting
mean,
some
him
justice.
killing Matt Damon at the end, I thought it was revenge for killing Jack Nicholson, but it's revenge for killing Martin Sheen
And
fully,
Leo.
and
And
Leo
Leo.
and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
Um,
it's funny because when I went to Boston, that like the court, I guess, building is what they show in like out of Matt Damon's apartment. You see that pretty like that's like at the park. And so I walked around and I was like, oh, this is the bench they shot like that scene at where they sit there and look at it and stuff. Because pretty much anywhere you walk in Boston, you're gonna run into like one of these locations. But I was looking around and I was like, where's his fucking apartment at? Like, and I was like, I'm pretty sure his apartment building doesn't exist. Because I was looking around, I was like, there's no apartment like in the area that would be like height the right height. Yeah, they're all like regular ass buildings. So I was like, and they didn't look as nice as his. That's why I was like, these are all brick buildings here.
I'm
Yeah.
so happy we had a movie that featured bagpipes on this episode because they just fucking hit like nobody's business. And then the fucking song that uh we used for our trailer and Boondocks and all that kind of
Had to bring it full circle.
had to bring it back.
I was about to say, name a movie that uses two iconic songs and then takes them and makes them their own. It's like they used that and was it "Gimme Shelter"? I think.
Which Scorsese just can't stop using in movies.
Yep.
It's fair.
But he also
But-
used the song like "Bang Bang," which is also in Wolf of Wall Street because I have the soundtrack to that, and I was like, oh shit, boy's just reusing all the songs.
He's got like a playlist of like 10 songs that he really likes, and he's just like, this is my playlist. I'm going to use in every movie. But hey, he knows how to use them well. But what was I going to say? Okay. Oh, do you think that the kid is Leo's or Matt's?
Leo's for sure. In my
Leo's, because remember she said she was talking about Matt Damon not being able to get it up.
You're right. He was impotent. You're completely right. That should have been the first red flag that she was cheating on him with somebody else.
Hey, when you don't got the balls to support the shaft, you go to Leonardo DiCaprio
Hmm.
because he
Also,
has-
got to say that this is in a career of fantastic performances. This is one of Matt Damon's best. I remember watching this for the first time and just being like, "Whoa!" Like even for him, this is like really fucking good.
the
He's one of
horrifying
those
image-
actors, huh?
Well, I was gonna say when he has the blood all in his teeth after Leo knocks him, just the yellowness and the blood is like some of the most horrific shit I've ever seen Matt Damon look like.
I was gonna say he's one of those actors that doesn't really need a lot of prosthetics or anything, but he like just the way he fucking does his shit. He doesn't see like I don't see the same character. Like I don't see Jason Bourne or any of his other big ones or like Good Will Hunting. It's like totally different. He could play a bad guy and still like I despicable and I hate him. And then in another movie he can play like the best, nicest, charming guy ever, and I'm there for it.
Matt Damon is. It's weird because like people don't think about this enough. I think they think that he's one of the most versatile actors like out there, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Like he's kind of I think seen as one of these guys who you don't really think about that until you're watching one of his movies. It's like dude can really do anything. Like you said, he can play any character, and you're not thinking about the fact that like it's like he can just do it. Like a lot of people see him as like, oh, he's just Matt Damon, but it's like, no, watch his movies. Like he's very, very different in every single one.
Jackson,
And
do you see Drive Away Dolls?
no, and I don't really plan to in the immediate future.
Okay. And I was gonna ask if I could spoil it, but I won't.
But yeah, that's one of those things I'm gonna regrettably watch one day so I can call myself a Cohen completionist. But
Just know it's a sequel to this, deep down. And you'll understand why.
okay. I know he's in that, but
For a very specific reason.
I like how for like I think like 2 years he was just popping up as the smallest parts in movies for like no fucking reason. I mean, not no reason, but like not because he had to for money, just because he wanted to.
his
What was the I was
Unsane.
thinking of
Yeah,
I was
Unsane.
thinking of the other Steven Soderbergh movie, the
Yeah,
one with,
Unsane.
no, the one with Benicio del Toro.
No.
Oh
No
my
Sudden
God, No Sudden Move.
So
Yeah.
movie, yeah, when he's in that.
That was, you want to talk about a jump scare and a half? That shit took me so off guard when I saw it for the first time. But it was like shock, and then it was like, well, of course it's fucking Matt Damon. Like, who else is it gonna be?
Yep.
And then his little cameo in Deadpool 2, which was nuts. But yeah, he was doing that for a good minute there.
And Thor.
Yeah, what the
Thor.
fuck? And two of the Thors, yeah. Wow, yeah, he did that a lot around that time period. Yeah, and Leo, of course, is fantastic. Vera Farmiga and everybody. People give Ray Winstone shit for his accent. I think it's not that bad.
I love it.
I
He's
No,
think he,
he's
I
a
don't
full
mind it.
character.
yeah, I like his character a lot. And yeah, what can you say? It's an absolute fucking banger. It is weird that because people say like, you know, when they talk about this movie winning Best Picture and Marty winning Best Director, they're always like, "This is the one he won for," like out of all his movies. And I'm like, I get that to a degree where it's like, yeah, it is nuts he didn't win for Goodfellas or Taxi Driver or any of those other movies. But it's not like he didn't like he deserved to win for this too, because this is one of his best films, and I really think that it deserved all the attention that it got.
Both one of
And
his most volatile, but also his most energetic.
absolutely. I think it's absolutely, I mean, just one of the best films. I mean, the every scene, there is so much craft and precision put into it. And just, I'm telling you, the whole thing just no notes, Marty, no notes. Just, you crushed this one. It's one of your best movies. And yeah, it's weird because normally again, I like how he kind of it is very similar to a lot of his other movies in a way, but I like how he kind of it is outside of his comfort zone in the sense that he's usually dealing with the Italian mob, and here he's like, let me just make one about the Irish mob, like just switch it up just a little bit, not in New York, it's in Boston this time. It is, I think it's different, he's exploring a different culture, and all that kind of stuff. So, that scene where um fucking Matt Damon and Vera Farmiga are out to dinner and he's just like, yeah, Freud said about the Irish, they're the only group immune to fucking therapy or whatever. Just like, I don't know, little scenes like that exploring the like Boston culture and shit and just who these guys are and the world that they come from and everything. It's it may feel similar, but it is different to like the typical what you see in his movies, the New York Italian culture and shit. It's cool. I don't know. It's cool seeing him change his spots in that way. This
Yeah,
movie's goated.
truly.
It can do no wrong. Except for somebody fucking put some CGI goddamn ice in that goddamn ice water. Otherwise, I will not be satisfied.
You're gonna CGI the rat, CGI the ice.
I
That's
guarantee
fair.
his fucking blood splattering all over Leo's face was colder than that fucking ice water. I'll tell you that much.
You know what,
Alright,
Sam?
I will die on
I
this hill,
just
Jackson.
can't. Like, of
Sam,
I
all
will
the
die on this
fucking
hill.
things for you to nitpick in the
I
movie.
will. But yeah,
Oh.
it's a wild fucking movie, and
Yeah.
much like our first two picks, and much like our last pick, the 3 for 3 podcast St. Patrick's Day special is for brothers everywhere, and we are going to take you on a tale back to Dublin. We're going all the way back to the 80s, the 1980s, with bands such as Duran Duran, um, and other things.
Aha.
Aha, that's what I was thinking. I don't know why my innate sense just wanted to go, what happened? But I just say that everywhere now. Um,
I don't think so.
but yes, my pick this week for you lads and lasses is none other than the 2016 sleeper hit Sing Street, about a boy named Connor. Connor with one N, because you don't spell Connor with two N's where we're from, such as Dublin, the streets of Dublin, the slight, bright streets of Dublin, where you're gonna start a band, and your brother Jack Rayner is giving the best performance I've ever seen him give in his life, but he's gonna push you. And you're gonna go to this new school because your parents are getting divorced because Little Fingers has two little fingers and he can't finger Mama anymore, so she has to go to Tony. And so, in the midst of all this divorce, you're going to this new Christian school, but you got brown shoes, and they only wear black shoes there. So you gotta get fucking beat, and you can't wear makeup. And so, you decide to start this band, and you decide to impress the girl who lives across the street at the little girls' school. And in that process, you fall in love, and you decide to step up for yourself. You decide that the machete path that your brother had cut for you is not clean enough, and you gotta go full charge, and you gotta get in the back of the boot of the boat and get your way to Britain, start that record deal, get her modeling career off, and you're going to be in for one of the most heartwarming and the soul-crushing rides of your life with Sing Street. Plenty of great people, but particularly Jack Rayner speaks to my heart. And yes, much like Rudderless, this movie meant a fuck ton to me when it came out, and I was screaming at the world, "You need to watch this movie," and not enough people saw it.
So this might be like the fourth or fifth movie in a row. It's about music, Sam.
I know. Well, that's why I changed my pick next week because it was also going to be a music related.
Well, I was just thinking like this is very close to Rudderless. I was like, Sam's on a theme this season.
Yes.
Yeah, because Adam, Bob Roberts and shit. Well,
Bob
that was
Roberts,
a
yes.
while ago, but still.
Yes.
There's probably other ones I just can't think of right now.
But yeah, Sing Street. I love this fucking movie so goddamn much. The music in this movie is so goddamn good. Every single child actor in this movie is good. The relationships, the way that the bully, his storyline goes on, the way the brother's storyline goes on, the way the mother's storyline goes on, where she just wants to go to fucking Spain and she just sits outside every night reading her papers, smoking her cigarette, drinking that wine, just living in the world. And you got the fucking shut-in Jack Rayner, who hadn't stepped outside that fucking place in months, if not years, finally going out and doing what his mother did, sticking up for his brother and pushing his brother to pursue his dreams. And because Jack Rayner was a fucking jet engine once, okay? You gotta fucking follow the jet engine. But I don't know. I don't know how y'all feel. I kind of know how Jackson feels, but please don't tear this apart, y'all.
I mean, I've seen this.
Love
I saw this a
will
long
tear
time
us
ago,
apart again. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I saw this movie a long time ago, and I do not remember half of it, or I didn't remember half of it, so it was like a good rewatch. Yeah, I really like this movie. Not what I remembered at all, not what I expected, but I kind of expected it to be more musical than it was. This one's more like straightforward, but in a good, I fucked with it nonetheless. Jack Rayner was great. The only movie I think I've like really seen him in really is Midsummer. But other than that, I don't think I've really seen a lot of like he probably has been in stuff, but
Detroit.
Never saw Detroit.
You should.
Get
It's
on
fantastic.
that. Get on that.
And we can't forget his extremely memorable performance in Transformers: Age of Extinction.
I still haven't seen that one either.
Career
Or
highlight.
maybe
for
have,
sure.
but yeah, that one I don't remember. But no, I mean that is a really good movie, very heartfelt. There was one point when I got up and I could have sworn I paused it, but when I got back, it was still playing, so I was gonna rewind it. But then I was like, wait, what? Because I got up to smoke, and when I came back, and it was that dream sequence where he's like playing the music and everyone's dancing around.
Oh yeah.
And I literally I sat back down and I was like, I'm no scientist here, but something feels wrong. I was like, how quickly did that, like, I was like, this changed way too fast. And I was like, nobody would be dancing around like this. And but for a hot minute, I wasn't sure if it was a dream sequence, which I thought was funny because I was like, I was like, is this really happening right now? Did they just montage like all the way to this? I was like, no way that priest is dancing. That was when the priest came in and started dancing, that was when like the alarms went off. I was like, okay.
One of my favorite parts.
But yeah, I mean, I love Aidan Gillian in this movie. I always like when he's in a fucking movie. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but yeah, he was the villain in a movie called 12 Rounds with John Cena as a kid, which is how I discovered him. And then he started popping up in everything else like Game of Thrones. But yes, very good movie, very heartfelt. Again, like we said earlier, I had to turn on subtitles because I was like, what the fuck are they saying? Especially, like you said, Jackson, that little kid, man, he just thick ass accent. Yeah. I'll let you take it away, Jackson.
So yeah, I will just start off by saying this. Sam's hatred for the lack of ice water in the previous film can only be matched by John Carney's hatred for Keira Knightley. That is a hate very, very intense indeed. And I won't elaborate on that. If you know, you know. But yeah, so this movie was, man, when it came out back, I can't believe it's been a fucking decade since this movie came out. That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But when it came out back in 2016, I remember seeing the trailer for it a bunch in the theater, and I was not impressed. I did not know who John Carney was. To this day, this is the only movie of his that I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Although I've been very heavily considering for a while getting Begin Again on here. So that might happen in season 4. But I I saw the trailers, and the trailer was just focused on the music more than like showing what the movie was about. The whole trailer literally was like featuring songs from all these bands. It was just focused on the music. I didn't think it looked great. It looked kind of generic. I couldn't really tell what the movie was about. I kind of just brushed it off and was just like, I don't really give a shit about this. But then certain people who had seen it kept saying it was one of those movies where like it had a following, and the people who saw it kept saying, "Watch this movie, watch this movie, watch this movie. It is so fucking good. It's one of the best movies of the year. Like, watch this." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "That fucking movie that came out at the beginning of the year that looked like that. What? What are you talking about?" And finally, I heard it enough times, people like swearing that this was one of the best movies of the year. I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever. I'll check it out. We'll see." And then I watched it and was like, what the fuck? Like it had made my like top 10 of that year. It was so goddamn good. And then, so watching it again after all that time, I was like, this is definitely going to be as good as I remember. It was somehow even better than I fucking remembered. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, what a movie. What a movie. Just absolutely, again, impossible to hate this. I mean, just like I think that's true of all three of the movies in this episode. I'm just like, I don't know how anybody could not love this movie. It's so amazing. It's so heartfelt. It's so real. It's so pure. It's so just like, and the one of the main things I remembered from seeing it the first time was how fucking banging the soundtrack was. And again, that did not change this time. I was like, every one of these songs is so good. Like I actually low key have been listening to a few of them since I saw the movie. I'm just like,
Stole it.
yeah, that was the best one for me. They were all great, but that was the best one. And yeah, just I don't know. It's like a love letter to like the creativity of because we all went to an art school and everything. We were all into creative passions when we were kids and shit, and it reignites that love of that in you. It's just like whatever your artistic passion is, not only does it like kind of reignite your love for that, but it also just reminds you. I was sitting here and it reminded me of like when I was the age of the kid in this movie, how I felt and like how when you're that age, you're really kind of finding yourself through your art and everything. And I don't know, it's really kind of beautiful in that way. And the movie's just, I don't know, it's so great. And I was gonna say something else and I can't remember what it was.
My laptop's at 1%. I gotta run. I'll be right back.
Oh.
Grab my charger.
But yeah, just absolute fucking banger from top to bottom. The love story is so fucking wonderful and just like sweet, and just the story with the brother that like all the characters have something going on that's interesting. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, what I was gonna say was when when this came out, when I first saw this, I remember like this is the movie that made me kind of appreciate music videos because I used to think like music videos were like kind of I didn't really like them. I was like they're kind of an outdated like I get in the 80s and the 90s why they made music videos because it was a way to promote the songs of the album. It was a different time, but now I'm just kind of like, do we need these anymore? Like I don't know. And then just listening to how they explained it in this movie, it made me respect them a lot more. And I'm just like ever since like I don't know. Every time I like think about music videos, I'm just like I remember Sing Street, and I'm just like, yeah, that was the movie that made me kind of change my mind about him and shit. They are like an art unto themselves in a way.
Yeah.
And fuck any man who listens to Phil Collins, including myself.
Hey, goddamn men.
I'll listen to the Tarzan soundtrack any day, any week. But it's okay. Because they
That
didn't
line spoke
know
to me.
that existed back when he said that.
You don't like coming in the air, Sam?
That's what I do every day. That's how I get
We
to
all
the
like coming in
rainbow and I
the
get my
air.
pot of gold.
We all like coming in the air. We just don't like when Phil Collins sings about it.
Mm. But then we wouldn't have the opening that Miami Vice moment.
Fair.
Fair. Well, no, this movie is just so. Well, I'll let you talk about it, Matt.
I mean, it's the same thing. I just like, I really fucked with it, the way it was shot. Like the characters felt real. So
Yeah, I think not very many movies, especially in 2016 and onwards, have the ability to capture a feeling and like a meaning and just have it through and through every single character, every single storyline, every single like possible like avenue that the movie opens. It explores everything. It gives you context, it gives you information. The scene where he's about to get this boat and he goes into his parents' room and his dad's sleeping on the floor, it's just like there's so much just connection to like other things that this movie could have been about and could have explored, but it's not. It's about this, and you're just taken on this ride, and you hate people at first. You grow to love them. You grow to love or hate people that you loved at first, and it's just like the way that it all just kind of flip flops and just circles around. It just, I think it just is really really well written in that sense, or at least executed really well. So it has personality, I guess, is the way to describe it more so than the long slew of words.
Yeah, it's again just I don't know. It's one of those movies you can tell John Carney just like kind of reached deep into himself and just pulled this out. I don't know, because it's just the emotions are so real and the depiction of what the kids are going through is so real. And again, just I don't know. The way the kid is able to express himself and be more confident and feel more like himself through the art is just it's inherently relatable, especially if you've ever been in that kind of position before. And all of the littlest like character arcs down to like the bully kid at the school who ends up joining him in the end, like which granted they kind of stole from Rushmore, but still it was nice nonetheless. And I don't know, just every little detail of it just felt very authentic. And I also didn't know, apparently, because they mention it quickly in this movie, that's a real thing. You could not get divorced in Ireland until like the 90s when
That's
they made that legal,
because they
which is
said that
fucking,
comment, and I was just like, "That's fucked," and then
yeah,
it went over my head. But
just very fucked. I'm like, how the fuck is that even possible? But yeah,
the my left
it's
foot clause.
say what?
It's the my left foot clause. He tried to divorce, and he didn't have a hand to sign, so they didn't make it any exceptions. And like we said, little fingers are too tiny. You can't hold the pencil. Sorry,
Yep.
that looked way worse than it was supposed to come across.
He does have little fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And God, just watching Jack Rayner try to better his own life and like stop smoking hash and stop being the thing that he was told he was for 20 years, and just knowing that he tried to do this and go to Germany and the mom stopped him, and his willingness to help his brother just be who he is, and that scene where at the end where she saw that he needed a hug and gave him that hug, and then he extends his arm out for his brother to hug him. It hits you in the feels.
He truly was one of the best. I remember that from the first time watching it too. He was one of the like standouts of the movie. His performance is great. And Jack Rayner, for a good few years there, you saw him pop up quite a bit. But then it seems like after a while, like after Midsummer, you kind of just stopped seeing him. I miss him. But apparently, I think he's going to be in John Carney's new movie, if I'm not
Oh
mistaken.
hell
That's
yeah!
coming out this year. So,
Watch
but
Warren's Son because that one was also very good.
yes, I need to see that one too. Um, but yeah, what can you say? And just the scenes where they're doing like I guess the music videos are very well directed, and that big sequence at the dance, the big fantasy sequence there, incredibly well staged and so full of energy. It just makes you happy. I don't know. It's just one of those like joyous just sequences, just feel good kind of things. I love when the priest comes in and starts dancing. It's just so much fun.
The like triple cartwheel.
hmm Bro's got the moves.
Yep.
Shout out to Adam Levine who sang the end credits song. He's got the moves like Jagger.
Hell yeah!
But not really shout out to him because he's a scumbag and I hate him, but
Heard. Much like the priest in this movie is a scumbag, piece of
yes.
shit, abusive fuck. And they set
That
it
was
up
one of those
to,
scenes that stood out in my memory from the first time was him just like shoving his head into that fucking sink. I was just like, man, this is every bit as upsetting as I remember.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's where at the beginning when they're talking about the school, he's like, Jack Rayner is like, "Oh, you just send boys there to go get physically abused and everything," and then you almost kind of forget about it, and then it just really comes full force, and it's just like Jesus Christ.
When I saw that the first time, or not the first time, like this time, I thought, I was like, for a second, I was like, is he trying to drown him in the sink? And I was like, oh no, he's just washing the makeup off. A
Well,
little bit of
yeah,
waterboarding, but
a little bit of
Well, he's
waterboarding,
definitely waterboarding him, but yeah.
proving the point. Um,
Um, yeah, I just again, this is one of those movies where I'm just like, I don't know, everything about it, down to like the production design, the costume design, the way it feels very authentic to the time period and everything. Um, it's all just, I don't know. It's all so well done. And
look up who it is, but the rest of the bandmates I thought were really good. Barry in particular,
yeah,
not
most of
Barry, but
the
that
kid
lead
who
singer.
writes the songs with him was
Amen.
really good.
Yeah, Mark McKenna. He was really fucking good. Don't see
Hmm.
practically any of them in anything else.
Yeah, from what I can tell, most of them haven't really done much else.
That's
The main kid, though, Fredia Walsh-Peelo, who we have to shout out because he was
yes.
fantastic. Apparently he was in Coda, so he has gone on to good work since
I have
this.
not seen Coda.
I have not either, but when I do, I'm going to be like, "Hey, that's the kid from Sing Street. That's cool."
I guess he'll be one of the people hearing in that movie.
I would have to assume.
No, I love Sheen Street, and it frankly at a time where I was like, I love my brother, I always have, but like I wasn't the closest with him, and it made me want to get closer with him, and that was really nice. And watching it this time made me want to get closer with him because I mean I am the younger, and I know it's different for you, Jackson, with your revolt. You would be the Jack Rayner, I guess, in your situation, but my brother did push me musically and creatively and all this kind of stuff, and I didn't really realize it. So it really
It's
hit.
definitely one of the best parts, maybe even the best part of the film is their relationship. It's so like crucial, to everything and just it's real and it's I don't know, it's nice because first of all, the dynamic that they've got where he does push him and he inspires him and you can tell, the kid looks up to him and everything. It's very true to life and it's very, kind of sweet and everything. And I like the scenes where it's like he cares about him, but he's also kind of willing to give him some tough love where he's just like when he plays him that first demo track of them doing the cover songs, he's like, I'm airing out the fucking stink in here. It's fucking he crushes the tape
Yeah,
and
he's like, you could
everything.
re-record it. And he's like, no, we can't. This is
Yep.
a tainted tape.
And I love that he'll do stuff like that, but he'll also like then give him advice on what he should do and like, make sure he's got his back and everything and the way he like does that little cheer at the end when he goes away on the boat like he really cares, and it's sweet. But then also he's got that scene where he's got a lot of pent up resentment like, I cut the fucking path forward for 6 years that you then followed untouched and everything. And I don't know, man. Like the whole movie's great, but scenes like that, the writing will just come out of nowhere and just like kind of clobber you in the face where it's just like, God damn, like they're saying some real shit here.
For me,
It's
it's
like
them in the stair
nuts.
talking about the mom outside and her hopes and dreams and how they were crushed and just forgotten about, and that's why their marriage is falling apart and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, where did you get so fucking like good and like in depth for something? What?
And again, just the scene where he's talking about like, I was the fucking, imagine being by yourself with two fucking Catholics in their 20 Irish Catholics in their 20s who didn't even fucking like each other. They just got married so they could have sex, basically. I'm just like, God damn, just like a machine gun spitting out these hard ass lines and just true to life observations. It's absolutely crazy. And that's what I'm saying again. It's just like the whole thing, like I don't know what part of himself John Carney tapped into to find this, but he was pulling out some very, very real shit like every second of the movie, pretty much,
And the girl's
and
storyline too, with her mother being in the hospital and her dad being what she said something as brown as dirt or something like that, or Food for
just a drunk, I think is what she said.
well,
But
she was talking about how he was riding in the ground and became a part of
oh
that for a split second. I was just like, God, you have such fucking destruction in your life that like this little hope of this kid is just like pulling you out, but you can't because you're just, as she says, idolizing a destiny that doesn't exist, and coming to realize that like this stuff is all just what you make of it and all that kind of whatnot.
yeah, it definitely is wild the way it'll just come along and just kind of clobber you over the head with some incredibly profound shit, and just like, yeah, I, it's fucking amazing. I didn't think it could because I remembered it being an absolute banger the first time I saw it, but it somehow got even better on this watch. I don't know. It's just like kind of nuts. It's also a little depressing how this time I related a lot more to Jack Rayner's character than to the kid, which is who I related to more the first time. I still relate to them both, but I'm just like, oh man, oh, that's not a good sign.
Two lines that stick out to me is happy sad. How the fuck are you happy and sad? Or like whatever the redhead short kid says. And then also them starting the slow song for the concert, and it's like, this is for all those people who thought they had a girl for one day and then realized she was just off doing something else, and then just fucking laying it all
Well,
out.
'cause it's so heartbreaking when she says like, "Yeah, now I'm hanging up with a fucking 15-year-old kid," and he gets pissed off and just leaves, and I'm just like, "Yeah, man, that was kind of shitty of you to say."
I was a little like, why was he so mean? And it was like, no, he was fucking right to say, no, I'm not going to tell you anything about this because I'm just some fucking 15-year-old kid. What do you
Well,
care?
because she's like, "Oh, I have to settle for hanging out with you." It's like, "Oh, well, fuck you then." But they make
She
up.
looked so much like Felicity Jones to me. It was a little jarring. I don't
In
know
the
if y'all
scenes where
thought
she
that.
doesn't have the hair and the makeup and everything, yes, I can see that.
Mhm.
Um, but and shout out to Lucy Boynton too,
Yeah,
underrated
she's a great
actress,
actress.
who I also haven't seen in a minute. Like she was in stuff again quite a bit around this time, and then I haven't seen her in a while. So, in another very underrated movie, Apostle.
Yes, I will champion that movie till the day I die.
Same. I'm a diehard stan for that one.
But
Oh
I'm
yeah.
really glad I got it on here. And it's funny that I have my grenade pin post Return to Silent Hill has all been like very important movies to me that also have succeeded in coming across to y'all. So
Mm. I mean, I think we're definitely
might
3 for 3 this week.
might have my 97% run.
Yeah, I think you've got like a 97 or a 98.5, but yeah,
Not a
no,
99.
not a 99. You got 99 problems and Return to Silent Hill is one. But yeah, no, I literally, unless there's just an episode I'm forgetting, I don't know if I've ever been more emphatically 3 for 3 to the point where when I finished Sing Street, it's the first time I can remember actually thinking it to myself. I'm like, God damn, am I 3 for 3 this week? Fuck. Like, I mean, all three movies, like, just absolutely incredible. Like, yeah, we came through this St. Patrick's Day.
Mhm.
And I remembered to wear green this year because I did not last year. I was the only one who
Mr.
didn't.
Green, I'm gonna pinch you.
Pinch you, you motherfucker.
Mm.
I was about to say, if it was actually St. Patrick's Day, you'd have a leg to stand on, but you don't.
Fair
You're not
enough.
getting any of my pots of gold, you little fuck.
Oh, there's just quarters.
I'm not even gonna do the Irish accent
Yeah.
because I picked the Irish American movie. So I'm doing a very bad Boston accent because I can't do that.
There are actually a bunch of dollar president tokens that are
Do you
all
like
that
apples?
don't exist. I love them.
Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
I thought you were gonna say applesauce, bitch.
Yes.
That somehow is my my mixed quote is I do you like apples, but instead of saying how do you like them apples, I just finish it with applesauce, bitch.
Now, how do you like them apples? You're an artist, Gus. But but
Him counting, yeah, I was literally
yep.
counting money.
Damn it, Matt. I said I'm busy. You're an artist, Gus. But one of the greatest scenes in film history. You can't tell me otherwise. But anyway.
Well, that's been another Tree for Tree. Thank you for joining us in your little ways and your big ways, and join us in Dublin for the end of this episode. But get ready for next week when we bring some heat, because you are going to like, you are going to subscribe, and all that nonsense, and you are going to become a part of the 3 for 3 army, and we will stand up next week tall and proud to showcase some epic movies, or at least an epic movie on my sense. So, 2 hours and 44 minutes of your life will be gone next week, and it may never come back.
What do you
I'm
fucking
Samuel
think
Holler.
it's like?
I'm joined with Matthew Patterson, George Patterson, joined by Jackson Workman. Matt, you will find out soon. Don't you
What's
worry.
my middle name, Sam? What is it?
Bartholomew? I don't know.
I was hoping you would say Admiral again.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, you're right. Admiral Jackson Admiral Workman. I'm
I'll
Sam.
never say it.
I almost said I'm Sam for Sam, but no, I'm 3 for
I'm
3.
Sam for Sam.
That Irish coffee's catching up to you.
Exactly. The Baileys are treating me well, but I gotta go stick my cock up a bum, just like Jack Nicholson told Leo and Matt Damon would happen to their girl. So deuces, 3 for 3. Like I said, if you don't like and subscribe, how you gonna find out what the next pick is? How are you gonna get to the end of the Rambo and get to my pot of gold?
The Irish mafia will come after you if you don't like and
Exactly.
subscribe.
And then for the sake of putting more green, I'll beat you with my green ukulele. And we'll see.
He did until the last second to whip that out.
I was gonna bring it out for Sing Street, but then I was like, I can't fucking play this thing. I don't know a single note. So, like and subscribe. There's no Guinness this episode, but there will be Guinness soon, and there will be Guinness back on this podcast before it is noon.
Alec Guinness, bitch.
Indeed, indeed. I should probably drop the accent and drop that whole shtick.